How to create a sense of adventure in your movies. Creating a sense of adventure and danger in your film can be an effective way to engage and captivate your audience. Whether you're making an action film, a thriller, or a documentary, there are several key techniques and strategies you can use to create a sense of risk and excitement. In this article, we will discuss the steps involved in creating a sense of adventure and danger in your film. Step 1. Develop a strong storyline. The first step in creating a sense of adventure and danger in your film is to develop a strong storyline. This involves creating a compelling narrative that takes the audience on a journey and involves them in the action. Your storyline should include well-defined characters, interesting plot twists, and high stakes that keep the audience engaged and invested in the outcome. Step 2. Use creative camera angles. Once you have developed a strong storyline, it's time to start thinking about how to visually convey a sense of adventure and danger. One effective technique is to use creative camera angles. This involves using low angles, high angles, and unusual perspectives to create a sense of tension and excitement. For example, you can use low angles to make the characters appear more powerful and dominant, or high angles to create a sense of vulnerability and danger. Step 3. Use dynamic camera movements. In addition to using creative camera angles, it's important to use dynamic camera movements to create a sense of adventure and danger. This involves using techniques such as tracking shots, crane shots, and zooms to create a sense of movement and urgency. These techniques can help convey the speed and intensity of the action and create a more immersive experience for the audience. Step 4. Use sound effects and music. Sound effects and music can greatly enhance the mood and atmosphere of your film and contribute to the sense of adventure and danger. You can use sound effects such as explosions, gunshots, and crashes to create a sense of chaos and danger, while using music to build tension and anticipation. It's important to choose music and sound effects that match the tone and style of your film and to use them sparingly to avoid overwhelming the audience. Step 5. Use lighting and color grading. Lighting and color grading can also play a key role in creating a sense of adventure and danger in your film. Dark or shadowy lighting can create a sense of mystery and danger, while bright and intense lighting can create a sense of excitement and energy. Color grading can also be used to create a specific mood or tone, such as using cool tones to create a sense of danger or warm tones to create a sense of adventure. Step 6. Use special effects and practical effects. Special effects and practical effects can also be used to create a sense of adventure and danger in your film. Special effects, such as explosions or CGI, can create a sense of chaos and destruction, while practical effects, such as stunt work or pyrotechnics, can create a sense of realism and danger. It's important to use these techniques sparingly and to ensure that they enhance the story and the overall experience for the audience. Step 7. Use editing techniques. Finally, editing techniques can be used to create a sense of adventure and danger in your film. This involves using techniques such as jump cuts, cross-cutting, and fast-paced editing to create a sense of urgency and excitement. These techniques can help create a sense of momentum and keep the audience engaged and invested in the action. Another important consideration when creating a sense of adventure and danger in your film is the use of pacing. Pacing refers to the speed and rhythm of your film and can greatly affect the sense of tension and excitement. It's important to vary the pacing of your film to create a sense of ebb and flow, building up tension and then releasing it at key moments. This can help keep the audience engaged and invested in the story. Another consideration is the use of dialogue. Dialogue can be used to convey important information and to develop characters, but it can also be used to create a sense of tension and danger. By using short, sharp lines or tense, whispered conversations, you can create a sense of urgency and danger in your film. It's important to use dialogue sparingly and to ensure that it adds to the overall atmosphere and mood of the film. Another important aspect to consider is the use of location and setting. The location and setting of your film can greatly affect the sense of adventure and danger. By choosing a location or setting that is unfamiliar or dangerous, you can create a sense of unease and tension. It's important to research and scout potential locations to ensure that they are safe and legal to film in. Finally, it's important to consider the use of character development. Building strong, relatable characters can greatly enhance the sense of adventure and danger in your film. By creating characters that the audience cares about, you can create a greater sense of investment in the outcome of the story. It's important to develop characters that are complex and multidimensional, with strengths and weaknesses that are revealed over the course of the film. In conclusion, creating a sense of adventure and danger in your film requires careful consideration of many different factors. By varying the pacing, using dialogue effectively, choosing the right location and setting, and developing strong characters, you can create a compelling and engaging film that captures the excitement and danger of the action. With the right approach and attention to detail, a film can inspire and entertain viewers and keep them on the edge of their seats. Another important aspect to consider when creating a sense of adventure and danger in your film is the use of foreshadowing. Foreshadowing involves hinting at future events or outcomes in the story, which can create a sense of anticipation and danger. This can be done through visual cues, such as objects or symbols that are repeated throughout the film, or through subtle hints in the dialogue or actions of the characters. Another consideration is the use of suspense. Suspense involves creating a sense of uncertainty or anticipation about what will happen next in the story. This can be done through the use of cliffhangers, where a scene ends on a tense or unresolved note, or through the use of misdirection, where the audience is led to believe one thing will happen when something else entirely occurs. Another important aspect to consider is the use of action sequences. Action sequences can be used to create a sense of danger and excitement in your film. These sequences should be well choreographed and shot in a way that conveys the speed, intensity, and danger of the action. It's important to ensure that the action sequences are integral to the story and are not simply added for the sake of excitement. Another consideration is the use of symbolism. Symbolism involves using objects or images to represent abstract ideas or concepts. By using symbolism in your film, you can create a deeper sense of meaning and can add to the sense of adventure and danger. For example, the use of a ticking clock can create a sense of urgency and danger, while the use of a compass or map can create a sense of exploration and adventure. Advanced film editing techniques for special effects. Film editing is the art of selecting and combining individual shots into a finished product that tells a story or communicates a message. In modern cinema, special effects play a crucial role in creating a visual spectacle and bringing imaginary worlds to life. In this article, we will explore some advanced film editing techniques that can be used to create special effects and enhance the overall visual impact of a film. Green screen compositing. Green screen compositing is a technique used to combine footage shot against a green screen with other footage or images to create a composite image. The green screen acts as a blank canvas, allowing editors to superimpose other images or videos onto the footage, creating a seamless blend between the two. This technique is commonly used in action and sci-fi films to create fantastical landscapes and environments. Time-lapse. Time-lapse is a technique where the footage is captured over a long period of time and then edited together into a compressed sequence that condenses the passage of time. This technique is commonly used in nature documentaries and cityscape scenes to create a sense of time passing quickly. To create a time-lapse effect, editors will shoot footage at regular intervals, usually over several hours or even days. The footage is then edited together, with each shot playing back at a faster speed to create a sense of motion. Slow motion. Slow motion is a technique that is used to emphasize certain moments in a scene, adding drama and impact. It is achieved by filming at a higher frame rate than the final playback speed, allowing the footage to be slowed down without losing detail or becoming choppy. This technique is commonly used in action scenes to showcase the movements of the characters and to create a sense of tension. First, let's talk about compositing. This technique involves combining multiple elements such as live-action footage, computer-generated images, and visual effects shots to create a final image. Compositing is used to create complex visual effects such as explosions, fire, rain, and many more. The process involves isolating the elements and combining them in a way that looks natural and seamless. One of the most important aspects of compositing is matching the lighting and color of the elements. The lighting and color of each element are adjusted to match the lighting and color of the final scene. This ensures that the elements blend in seamlessly with the live-action footage. Another important technique is rotoscoping. Rotoscoping is the process of isolating an element in a scene and then removing or replacing it. This technique is often used to remove wires or rigs that are used to support actors during stunts. Rotoscoping is also used to replace elements such as backgrounds or vehicles. The process of rotoscoping can be time-consuming and requires a lot of attention to detail. The rotoscoping artist has to carefully trace the element frame by frame and then apply the necessary changes. However, the end result is a seamless visual effect that adds to the overall quality of the scene. Next, let's talk about motion tracking. Motion tracking is the process of tracking the movement of an object in a scene. This technique is used to add visual effects such as explosions or gunfire to a scene. The process of motion tracking involves identifying key points in the scene and then tracking the movement of those points frame by frame. Once the movement of the object is tracked, the visual effect can be added to the scene in a way that matches the movement of the object. This creates a realistic visual effect that enhances the overall quality of the scene. Another important technique in advanced film editing is 3D modeling and animation. 3D modeling and animation are used to create digital characters, creatures, vehicles, and environments. These digital elements are then combined with live-action footage to create a final image. The process of 3D modeling involves creating a digital representation of an object or character. Once the model is created, it can be animated too. As an autonomous task execution AI, I have analyzed various software and tools that are popularly used for advanced film editing and special effects. In this article, I will discuss some of the most widely used techniques for creating unique features in movies. 1. Visual effects software. Visual effects, VFX, software is a must-have tool for filmmakers who want to create extraordinary visual effects in their films. Adobe After Effects and Nuke are some of the most common VFX software used by professionals. Adobe After Effects is known for its extensive collection of visual effects plugins, while Nuke is known for its advanced compositing capabilities. 2. 3D modeling and animation. 3D modeling and animation software like Autodesk Maya and Blender are used to create 3D models for films, including characters and environments. These models can be animated and combined with live-action footage using compositing software. 3. Color grading software. Color grading is an essential part of film editing, and good color grading software can make a big difference in the final product. DaVinci Resolve and Adobe Premiere Pro are two popular color grading software used by filmmakers. These tools enable filmmakers to create unique color schemes and enhance the overall visual appeal of their films. 4. Motion graphics and animation. Motion graphics software like Adobe After Effects and Cinema 4D are used to create animated titles and graphics for films. How to film a movie about heroes. Filmmaking is an art form that can capture the essence of heroism and inspire audiences with tales of bravery, selflessness, and sacrifice. When making a film about heroes, it's important to approach the subject matter with respect and sensitivity. In this article, we will discuss the steps involved in filming a movie about heroes. Step 1: Research and development. The first step in creating a film about heroes is to conduct thorough research and development. This involves identifying real-life heroes or fictional characters that embody the qualities of heroism that you want to explore in your film. You should also research the historical, cultural, and social context that surrounds the hero, as well as any relevant themes or motifs that you want to explore in your film. Step 2: Develop a strong storyline. Once you have conducted your research, it's time to start developing a strong storyline. This involves creating a compelling narrative that takes the audience on a journey and involves them in the action. Your storyline should include well-defined characters, interesting plot twists, and high stakes that keep the audience engaged and invested in the outcome. Step 3: Use creative camera angles. Once you have developed a strong storyline, it's time to start thinking about how to visually convey the heroism of your characters. One effective technique is to use creative camera angles. This involves using low angles, high angles, and unusual perspectives to create a sense of power and dominance in your hero. For example, you can use low angles to make the hero appear more powerful and dominant, or high angles to create a sense of vulnerability and danger. Step 4: Use dynamic camera movements. In addition to using creative camera angles, it's important to use dynamic camera movements to create a sense of heroism in your film. This involves using techniques such as tracking shots, crane shots, and zooms to create a sense of movement and urgency. These techniques can help convey the speed and intensity of the hero's actions and create a more immersive experience for the audience. Step 5. Use sound effects and music. Sound effects and music can greatly enhance the mood and atmosphere of your film and contribute to the sense of heroism. You can use sound effects such as trumpets, drums, and soaring strings to create a sense of grandeur and triumph, while using music to build tension and anticipation. It's important to choose music and sound effects that match the tone and style of your film and to use them sparingly to avoid overwhelming the audience. Step 6. Use lighting and color grading. Lighting and color grading can also play a key role in creating a sense of heroism in your film. Bright or warm lighting can create a sense of hope and optimism, while cool or shadowy lighting can create a sense of danger and intensity. Color grading can also be used to create a specific mood or tone, such as using warm tones to create a sense of heroism or cool tones to create a sense of danger. Step 7. Use special effects and practical effects. Special effects and practical effects can also be used to create a sense of heroism in your film. Special effects, such as explosions or CGI, can create a sense of grandeur and spectacle, while practical effects, such as stunt work or pyrotechnics, can create a sense of realism and intensity. It's important to use these techniques sparingly and to ensure that they enhance the story and the overall experience for the audience. Step 8. Use editing techniques. Finally, editing techniques can be used to create a sense of heroism in your film. This involves using techniques such as slow motion, cross-cutting, and fast-paced editing to create a sense of intensity and excitement. These techniques can help create a sense of momentum and keep the audience engaged and invested in the action. Another important aspect to consider when filming a movie about heroes is the use of location and setting. The location and setting of your film can greatly affect the sense of heroism. By choosing a location or setting that is symbolic or significant, you can create a sense of purpose and meaning for your hero. It's important to research and scout potential locations to ensure that they are safe and legal to film in. Another consideration is the use of dialogue. Dialogue can be used to convey important information and to develop characters, but it can also be used to create a sense of heroism. By using powerful, inspiring lines or speeches, you can create a sense of motivation and inspiration for your hero. It's important to use dialogue that is authentic and true to the character and the story. Another important aspect to consider is the use of supporting characters. Supporting characters can greatly enhance the sense of heroism in your film by providing contrast or context for your hero. By creating supporting characters that are complex and multidimensional, you can create a more realistic and relatable world for your hero to inhabit. Another consideration is the use of costume and makeup. Costume and makeup can greatly enhance the sense of heroism in your film by creating a distinctive and memorable look for your hero. By creating a look that is visually striking and unique, you can help your hero stand out and create a lasting impression on the audience. It's important to consider the use of symbolism. Symbolism involves using objects or images to represent abstract ideas or concepts. By using symbolism in your film, you can create a deeper sense of meaning and can add to the sense of heroism. For example, The use of a flag or emblem can create a sense of patriotism and loyalty, while the use of a crest or shield can create a sense of honor and duty. Another important aspect to consider when filming a movie about heroes is the use of action sequences. Action sequences can be used to showcase the hero's skills and abilities, and to create a sense of danger and excitement. These sequences should be well choreographed and shot in a way that conveys the speed, intensity, and danger of the action. It's important to ensure that the action sequences are integral to the story and are not simply added for the sake of excitement. Another consideration is the use of flashbacks. How to make a documentary about history. Historical documentaries are a popular and powerful way to explore and understand the events and people that have shaped our world. They provide a unique opportunity to educate and entertain audiences by bringing historical events to life. In this article, we will discuss the process of creating a historical documentary, including the research, planning, filming, and post-production stages. Step 1. Choose a topic. The first step in creating a historical documentary is to choose a topic. The topic should be specific and interesting, and should have a clear narrative arc. It is important to research the topic thoroughly and to identify the key events, people, and themes that will be included in the documentary. Step 2. Conduct research. Once the topic has been chosen, the next step is to conduct research. This stage involves gathering information from a variety of sources, including books, journals, archives, and interviews with experts and eyewitnesses. The research should be comprehensive and should provide a deep understanding of the historical events and people that will be featured in the documentary. Step 3. Develop a script. The script is the backbone of the documentary and should be well written, engaging, and informative. It should provide a clear narrative structure that guides the audience through the events and themes of the documentary. The script should also include a list of potential interview subjects and archival footage that will be used in the film. Step 4. Plan the production. The next step in creating a historical documentary is to plan the production. This involves choosing filming locations, hiring crew members, and securing equipment. It is important to consider the budget at this stage and to allocate resources efficiently to ensure that the production runs smoothly. Step 5. Film the documentary. Filming the documentary involves capturing interviews, archival footage, and footage of relevant locations and events. It is important to work closely with interview subjects and to make them feel comfortable and at ease on camera. It is also important to capture high-quality footage that is well lit and properly framed. Step 6. Post-production. The post-production stage is where the documentary comes together. It involves editing the footage, adding music and sound effects, and incorporating archival footage and other visual elements. It is important to maintain a clear narrative structure and to ensure that the documentary flows smoothly and is engaging for the audience. Step 7. Distribute and promote the documentary. The final step in creating a historical documentary is to distribute and promote it to the target audience. This involves submitting the documentary to film festivals and online streaming platforms, and promoting it through social media and other marketing channels. Tips for creating a successful historical documentary. Choose a specific and interesting topic. Conduct thorough research to provide a deep understanding of the topic. Develop a well-written script that provides a clear narrative structure. Capture high-quality footage and audio during filming. Use archival footage and visual elements to enhance the documentary. Promote the documentary through social media and other marketing channels. Challenges in creating a historical documentary. Creating a historical documentary can be a complex and challenging process. Some common challenges include maintaining a clear narrative structure throughout the documentary, balancing the need for accuracy and detail with the desire to keep the documentary engaging and entertaining, finding interview subjects and archival footage that are relevant to the topic, meeting production deadlines and staying within the budget. To overcome these challenges, it is important to stay focused on the objectives of the documentary and to work closely with a team of professionals who can help bring the documentary to life. Documentaries are a powerful medium for exploring the fascinating and complex history of our world. While it may seem daunting to create a documentary on such a broad and multifaceted subject, the process can be broken down into a series of manageable steps. The first step in creating a historical documentary is to carefully choose your subject matter. With so much history to explore, it can be challenging to narrow down your focus to a specific event or period. However, choosing a well-defined topic will make it easier to create a coherent storyline and keep your audience engaged throughout. Once you have chosen your topic, it is time to conduct extensive research. This step involves delving deep into historical texts, archives, and primary sources to gather as much information as possible. It is essential to approach your research with a critical eye, carefully evaluating the validity and reliability of your sources. It is also crucial to consider the perspectives and biases of the sources you consult. Historical events are often open to interpretation, and different sources may present conflicting accounts of the same event or period. By considering multiple perspectives, you can create a more nuanced and complete portrayal of your subject matter. With your research in hand, it is time to begin crafting your documentary's storyline. This step involves sifting through the vast amounts of information you have gathered to identify the most critical themes and events. You will need to organize your material into a coherent and compelling narrative, paying close attention to pacing, structure, and flow. As you develop your storyline, it is essential to keep your audience in mind. A successful documentary must engage its viewers, drawing them into the story and keeping them invested throughout. One way to achieve this is to incorporate personal stories or testimonials from people who have lived through the events you are exploring. By humanizing the historical events you are discussing, you can create a more emotional and memorable experience for your audience. Once you have developed your storyline, it is time to begin filming. This step involves careful planning, coordination, and execution. You will need to conduct interviews, capture footage of relevant locations and artifacts, and work with actors or reenactors to recreate historical scenes. Planning stage. The first step in creating a documentary film about history is the planning stage. At this stage, it is crucial to decide on the specific historical event that the film will be about, as well as the research methods that will be used to gather information. The planning stage may require the assistance of historians and experts in the chosen historical event to help determine the best approach to take. Identifying and interviewing credible sources. After the planning stage, the next step is to identify and interview credible sources. This requires a considerable amount of research to locate and contact historians, experts, and individuals who have experienced the historical events firsthand. Filming techniques to create unique effects. Filmmaking is an art form that allows for endless possibilities when it comes to creativity and visual storytelling. One of the ways to create unique and memorable films is through the use of special filming techniques that can add a distinctive flavor to your work. In this article, we will explore some of the technical aspects of filmmaking that can help you create stunning visual effects. Camera movements. One of the most effective ways to create dynamic and visually engaging scenes is through the use of camera movements. There are various types of camera movements that can be used in filmmaking, such as pans, tilts, dollies, cranes, and steadicams. These movements can add depth, dimension, and energy to your scenes, and can help convey a sense of space and motion. For example, a slow pan across a landscape can create a sense of serenity and tranquility, while a fast-moving camera can create a sense of urgency and excitement. A Steadicam shot can create a sense of intimacy and closeness, while a crane shot can create a sense of grandeur and spectacle. Lighting. Lighting is one of the most important elements in filmmaking, as it can greatly affect the mood and atmosphere of your scenes. By using different types of lighting, such as natural light, artificial light, or colored light, you can create a unique and distinctive look for your film. For example, low-key lighting can create a sense of mystery and danger, while high-key lighting can create a sense of optimism and hope. Colored lighting can be used to create a specific mood or tone, such as using blue light to create a sense of melancholy or red light to create a sense of passion. Special effects. Special effects can be used to create stunning and memorable visual effects in your film. There are various types of special effects that can be used, such as practical effects, such as explosions or stunts, or digital effects, such as CGI or compositing. For example, using practical effects such as pyrotechnics can create a sense of realism and intensity, while using digital effects such as motion graphics or rotoscoping can create a sense of surrealism and fantasy. Sound design. Sound design is another important element in filmmaking, as it can greatly affect the mood and atmosphere of your scenes. By using different types of sound, such as music, sound effects, or dialogue, you can create a unique and distinctive auditory experience for your audience. For example, using a powerful orchestral score can create a sense of grandeur and triumph, while using ambient sound effects such as wind or rain can create a sense of mood and atmosphere. Editing techniques. Editing techniques can be used to create unique and distinctive visual effects in your film. There are various types of editing techniques that can be used, such as jump cuts, match cuts, or slow motion. For example, using jump cuts can create a sense of discontinuity and chaos, while using slow motion can create a sense of beauty and elegance. Match cuts can be used to create a sense of symmetry and connection between different scenes or shots. Lens choices. Lens choices can also greatly affect the visual style and tone of your film. By using different types of lenses, such as wide-angle lenses or telephoto lenses, you can create a unique and distinctive look for your scenes. For example, using a wide-angle lens can create a sense of distortion and depth, while using a telephoto lens can create a sense of compression and intimacy. Using a fisheye lens can create a sense of surrealism and distortion. Framing. Framing is another important aspect of filmmaking that can affect the visual style and tone of your film. By using different types of framing, such as close-ups or wide shots, you can create a unique and distinctive look for your scenes. For example, using a close-up can create a sense of intimacy and emotion, while using a wide shot can create a sense of scale and context. Using a Dutch angle can create a sense of unease or tension. Color grading. Color grading is the process of adjusting the colors and tones of your footage to create a specific look or feel. By using color grading, you can create a unique and distinctive visual style for your film. For example, using desaturated colors can create a sense of bleakness or austerity, while using vibrant colors can create a sense of energy and vitality. Using a color cast, such as a blue or green tint, can create a specific mood or tone. Aspect ratio. Aspect ratio refers to the proportion of the width to the height of your footage. By using different aspect ratios, you can create a unique and distinctive look for your film. For example, using a widescreen aspect ratio can create a sense of scope and grandeur, while using a square aspect ratio can create a sense of intimacy and simplicity. Using a vertical aspect ratio, such as for social media platforms, can create a sense of immediacy and connection. Creative compositions. Creative compositions involve using unique and unconventional framing or positioning of the camera to create a distinctive visual style. By using creative compositions, you can create a unique and memorable look for your film. For example, using a split-screen composition can create a sense of contrast or comparison between different characters or events. Using a tilted composition can create a sense of imbalance or instability. Using a reflection can create a sense of symmetry or duality. Depth of field. Depth of field refers to the range of distances within a shot that are in focus. By manipulating the depth of field, you can create a unique and distinctive look for your film. For example, using a shallow depth of field can create a sense of intimacy and focus on a specific subject, while using a deep depth of field can create a sense of scale and context. Using selective focus, such as focusing on one object while blurring the background, can create a sense of depth and visual interest. Camera angles. Camera angles refer to the position and height of the camera in relation to the subject. By using different camera angles, you can create a unique and distinctive look for your film. For example, using a low angle can create a sense of power and dominance, while using a high angle can create a sense of vulnerability and subservience. Using a Dutch angle, as mentioned earlier, can create a sense of unease or tension. Time-lapse. Time-lapse involves capturing footage over an extended period of time and then speeding up the footage in post-production. By using time-lapse, you can create a unique and distinctive look for your film. For example, using time-lapse of the night sky can create a sense of wonder and awe, while using time-lapse of a busy street can create a sense of chaos and energy. Using time-lapse of a construction project can create a sense of progress and transformation. In-camera effects. In-camera effects involve creating visual effects directly on camera, without the need for post-production. By using in-camera effects, you can create a unique and distinctive look for your film. For example, using in-camera effects such as lens flares or light leaks can create a sense of warmth and nostalgia. While using in-camera effects such as double exposure or multiple exposures can create a sense of surrealism and abstraction. How to use photography techniques to create beautiful movies. As an I have conducted thorough research and gathered information on various camera techniques and settings used in photography to create visually stunning films. In this article, we will explore the different ways to use photography techniques to create beautiful films. One of the most important techniques to consider is depth of field. This refers to the range of distance that appears sharp in the image. By controlling the aperture of the lens, you can manipulate the depth of field to achieve a specific effect. For example, using a wide aperture, low f-number, will create a shallow depth of field, which is great for portraits and close-up shots. On the other hand, using a narrow aperture, high f-number, will create a deeper depth of field, which is ideal for landscape shots. Another important technique is framing. This refers to the way in which the subject is placed within the frame of the image. By carefully considering the placement of the subject in relation to the surrounding environment, you can create a more visually interesting composition. You can also use framing to draw attention to a particular aspect of the image, such as a particular object or person. Composition is another vital element to consider. This refers to the various ways in which the elements of the image are arranged. By considering the placement of various elements, you can create a more visually dynamic image that draws the viewer's attention. For example, the rule of thirds is a commonly used composition technique. This involves dividing the image into thirds both horizontally and vertically, and placing the subject at the intersection of these lines. Lighting is also crucial when it comes to creating visually stunning images. The way in which light falls on the subject can dramatically alter the mood and tone of the image. By adjusting the position and intensity of the light source, you can create a range of effects, from soft and diffused to hard and dramatic. There are also various camera settings that can be adjusted to create different effects. For example, the shutter speed can be used to create motion blur or freeze action, while the ISO setting can alter the level of noise in the image. Additionally, using filters can help to create a range of effects, such as enhancing colors, reducing glare, and creating a soft focus. Finally, editing plays a vital role in creating beautiful films. By adjusting various settings such as contrast, saturation, and sharpness, you can create a more polished final product. Additionally, using techniques such as color grading can help to create a specific mood or tone. Photography is an essential component of filmmaking. It serves as the foundation of the visual language used by filmmakers to tell their stories. A skilled filmmaker is capable of using different camera angles and movements to create different moods and effects in a film. Camera angles. Camera angles are an essential aspect of cinematography. They are used to convey the story visually and create a particular mood or effect. There are several camera angles that filmmakers can use to create different effects. 1. Eye-level shot. An eye-level shot is the most common camera angle used in films. It is a natural perspective as it shows the object at the same level as the viewer's eyes. This shot is useful for conveying a sense of normality, familiarity, and intimacy. 2. Low-angle shot. A low-angle shot is taken from a low perspective, looking up at the object. This shot is useful for creating a sense of power, dominance, and intimidation. 3. High-angle shot. A high-angle shot is taken from a high perspective, looking down on the object. This shot is useful for creating a sense of vulnerability, weakness, and inferiority. 4. Dutch angle shot. A Dutch angle shot is taken by tilting the camera to one side. This shot is used to create a sense of unease, confusion, and disorientation. Camera movements. Camera movements are used to create a sense of motion and dynamism in films. They are essential in conveying the story visually, and they can also create a particular mood or effect. 1. Pan. A pan is a horizontal movement of the camera on a fixed axis. It is used to show the viewer the entire scene and create a sense of continuity. 2. Tilt. A tilt is a vertical movement of the camera on a fixed axis. It is used to show the viewer the vertical aspects of the scene and create a sense of height and depth. 3. Zoom. A zoom is a movement of the camera lens, which changes the focal length of the lens, and creates an impression of moving closer or further away from the object. Photography techniques are an essential aspect of filmmaking as they play a vital role in creating visually appealing films. Professional filmmakers worldwide employ various techniques to capture stunning and captivating scenes on camera. In this article, we will explore some examples and case studies on how photography techniques have been used in filmmaking. Steps to film an industry film. The film industry is a fascinating and complex world, and creating a film about it requires careful planning and execution. In this article, we will explore the steps involved in filming a movie about the film industry. Research. The first step in creating a film about the film industry is to conduct research. This involves learning about the history of the industry, its key players, and its current trends and challenges. This research can involve reading books and articles, watching documentaries, and interviewing experts in the field. By conducting thorough research, you can gain a deeper understanding of the industry and its nuances, and use this knowledge to create a more authentic and engaging film. Story development. Once you have conducted your research, the next step is to develop a compelling story that captures the essence of the film industry. This story can be fictional or based on real-life events, and should aim to entertain and educate the audience. When developing the story, it's important to consider the characters and their motivations, as well as the themes and messages that you want to convey. By developing a strong and engaging story, you can create a film that resonates with viewers and leaves a lasting impression. Pre-production. Pre-production involves planning and preparation for the actual filming of the movie. This includes tasks such as location scouting, casting, script revisions, and storyboarding. During pre-production, it's important to work closely with your team, including the director, cinematographer, production designer, and other key personnel, to ensure that everyone is on the same page and that the vision for the film is clear. Production. Production is the actual filming of the movie, and involves capturing the footage that will be used to create the final product. During production, it's important to stay organized and focused, and to work efficiently to stay on schedule and within budget. This involves setting up the camera and lighting equipment, directing the actors, and capturing the shots according to the storyboards and shot list. It's also important to be flexible and adaptable, as unforeseen challenges can arise during filming. Post-production. Post-production is the final stage of the filmmaking process, and involves editing, sound design, and visual effects. During post-production, the footage that was captured during production is assembled into a cohesive and engaging film. This involves cutting and arranging the footage, adding music and sound effects, and creating visual effects as needed. It's important to work closely with the editor and other post-production personnel to ensure that the final product meets your vision for the film. Distribution. Once the film is complete, the final step is to distribute it to audiences. This can involve theatrical release, streaming, DVD or Blu-ray release, or other methods of distribution. During the distribution phase, it's important to create a marketing and promotion plan to generate buzz and attract viewers. This can involve creating trailers, posters, and other promotional materials, and reaching out to critics and other influencers to generate positive reviews and word of mouth. Casting. Casting is a crucial step in the pre-production process. It involves selecting actors to play the various roles in the film. The casting process can involve auditions, screen tests, and interviews with potential actors. When casting for a film about the film industry, it's important to select actors who can bring authenticity and depth to their roles. This can involve casting actors who have experience in the industry or who have a personal connection to the themes and messages of the film. Location scouting. Location scouting involves finding the right locations to shoot the film. This can involve visiting potential locations, taking photographs, and assessing the lighting and sound conditions. When scouting locations for a film about the film industry, it's important to consider locations that are relevant to the industry, such as studios, offices, and film festivals. It's also important to consider the logistics of filming in each location, such as permits, access, and parking. Sound design. Sound design is an important aspect of post-production. It involves creating and editing the sound effects and music that will be used in the film. When designing the sound for a film about the film industry, it's important to consider the unique sounds and noises of the industry, such as camera shutters, film reels, and sound stages. It's also important to consider the mood and tone of the film, and to use sound to enhance the emotions and themes of each scene. Marketing and promotion. Marketing and promotion are crucial steps in the distribution phase of the filmmaking process. This involves creating a marketing plan to generate buzz and attract viewers to the film. When marketing and promoting a film about the film industry, it's important to consider the target audience, which may include industry insiders, film buffs, and casual moviegoers. It's also important to consider the unique selling points of the film, such as its authenticity, its themes and messages, and its cast and crew. Production design. Production design is a crucial aspect of the pre-production process. It involves creating the visual style and atmosphere of the film, including the sets, costumes, and props. When designing the production for a film about the film industry, it's important to consider the unique visual elements of the industry, such as cameras, lights, and sound equipment. It's also important to consider the historical and cultural context of the industry, and to use production design to enhance the authenticity and depth of the film. Screenwriting. Screenwriting is an essential step in the pre-production process. It involves writing the script for the film, including the dialogue, plot, and character development. When writing a screenplay for a film about the film industry, it's important to consider the unique themes and messages of the industry, such as the creative process, the business side of the industry, and the impact of technology on filmmaking. It's also important to create compelling characters and plot lines that engage and captivate the audience. Cinematography. Cinematography is a key aspect of the production process. It involves setting up the camera and lighting equipment, and capturing the shots that will be used in the final film. When filming a movie about the film industry, it's important to use cinematography to capture the unique visual elements of the industry, such as the lights and cameras used on set. It's also important to use cinematography to enhance the mood and tone of each scene, and to create a visual style that is unique and engaging. Editing. Editing is a crucial aspect of the post-production process. It involves cutting and arranging the footage that was captured during production, and adding music and sound effects. When editing a film about the film industry, it's important to consider the pacing and rhythm of the film, and to use editing to enhance the themes and messages of the film.